Hi everyone, it's Ayesha here from God FM, and today I want to talk about Bluetooth speakers and your smart speakers. Alright, so today is the 22nd of April 2026, and what I found is that when this all started, I'm a gang stalked victim, as in targeted individual. It was through the speakers and through the TV, and somehow these guys linked it to smart speakers. Okay, so Bluetooth speakers. I noticed one of my students who had been recruited in to participate in this whole exercise of harassment was plugging in his earphones into the TV, and I saw this through the reflection of the window, so he didn't know I'd seen him. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm just looking for my earpods." I was like, "Oh, right, okay." And so the next time I had problems, I got some earphones and I put them in the phone jack of the TV. Now, I had a TV and I had an Apple TV box, and I also had a speaker which was plugged in through a jack at the back, and it was not a smart TV. Well, it was a semi-smart. It was a Sharp TV, but it wasn't equipped without its little plug-in thing at the back for clever TV facilities, if you like. So I was like, right, okay, interesting. So what I then found was I had this Bluetooth speaker and it was giving me some problems, so I tried to reset it. And I think I went on the wrong page and I reset the speaker. It was a JBL Extreme 2. And it wouldn't work anymore. And then everything stopped in the house. And I was like, interesting. I thought, well, maybe it's a speaker. I forgot about that. And so then, because I like sound and I'm really into music, my background is radio and law and all sorts of different things. But I really wasn't a DJ or anything, but I was a salesperson for the radio, and I used to be able to get all of the nice new music that was coming through. Sometimes I would get really interesting things sent to me by people who worked in the radio. So it was nice. And anyway, I was like, I always mix music and make CDs and stuff as well. So I've always probably been a wannabe DJ, but never was a DJ. So anyway, so putting this speaker on the TV was quite a big thing for me, but it wasn't a smart speaker, and it was a Boston speaker, which is one of the best you can buy. And funnily enough, the Boston speaker that I had stopped working, and I'd picked that up at a charity shop for £1 or £2, and it was really good sound. So I then went online and had bought a secondary speaker. This time I paid about $200-300 for it, because I knew it was very good, and they're very rare. So I was like, right, okay, perfect, got another speaker. And this was after the JBL exercise. Now, because I use the JBL for playing the audio Bible, Bluetooth, from my phone, what I do is I study the Bible, and then I play on the speaker the studies I've done that day, the audio Bible, usually while I'm in the bath. And then it sort of goes in twice. And then I take notes and that kind of thing, because I take the Bible seriously and studying it very seriously. Anyway, because I wanted my speaker working again, I did manage to get it working through trial and error and going online saying my speaker doesn't work and how do you fix it. And other people tried different methods and I got it working again. But whatever these guys did, they synchronized the speaker to everything they were doing. And I didn't realize it at the time, but often if this radiation stuff would all start and the ringing, I would switch on and off the speakers and it would stop. So I thought, well, it's definitely connected with the TV and the speakers somehow, and I didn't really understand it. So I want to tell you my experiences because it may well resonate with you or it may assist you, because this is a frequency-based attack. It's many frequencies and pointing lights of frequencies as well. Light is frequency. Okay, and Wi-Fi too. And microwave, funnily enough. So anyway, I was like, right, okay. When I moved house, my daughter was here and my phone call was actually, I had a phone call and she heard the whole conversation through my speaker. I was like, wow, that's interesting, eh? And my phone wasn't connected to the speaker. So this is the frightening thing. And I found out that JBLs have got microphones. I was like, yeah, it's interesting, it is. Now the microphone section on any audio equipment is looks the same as a speaker jack. So basically I'm like, right, okay. So there's obviously a speaker in there and there's also a microphone. Interesting. So basically your smart speakers are definitely listening to you and they're emitting frequency, and frequency is basically laser. And it can have code and instruction in it. So I'm finding, okay. If we look back at the history with the reset, when they did the mud flood and the orphan trains, the incubator fairs and the world fairs, there were bells, and they buried all the bells in the UK anyway on Belgrave Road. So the bells must have been something against demonic entities that stopped the demons from entering and being around you. So sound is something that they've definitely worked on, and I want to talk about that. I don't know what it is about sound and music, but it can really change your mood. So if I listen to a song from when I was a child, it'll bring back all those memories. If I'm when I was in love with someone and I would hear a song that we loved together, it would make me cry. And this kind of thing. I had a very beautiful friend in South Africa who went with me to the hot baths. And he always really liked Michael Bolton. And Michael Bolton, I always related to him. Anyway, I was in England and I heard this Michael Bolton song and I thought, oh, I wonder how he is. So I rang his family in South Africa and checked how he was. Spoke to his sister. She said, oh, sorry to tell you, he killed himself. I said, oh, wow, that's awful. Yeah, he drove his car into a tree. I said, oh, wow. And this guy was one of my best friends, a beautiful man, and he had a fake eye. He had a glass eye, but it looked the same as a normal eye, and it used to move exactly the same. But he was the most good-looking man, very beautiful, very, very kind, wonderful heart. And he was, I would say, one of my first loves as a youngster. And a very beautiful man. But this is what I mean about music. And now when I hear Michael Bolton, I think of him. And then there's a man I dated some years ago. And whenever I hear his music, I think of him. There's a song by this artist, and it's Sexy Eyes. Whenever I hear that, I think of him. And then I also think, whenever I hear reggae, I think of him because he was like reggae, you know. So music really does create an atmosphere, makes you feel good, makes you feel sad. And then there's my ex-husband. Whenever I hear really heavy metal and that kind of thing, I think of him. Death Leppard, all those sort of heavy metal bands, Iron Maiden, and all of that. So it's interesting for me. I also have a brother that I don't talk to anymore, and he handed his life to the devil. He started praying to the devil as a child, and then he became gay and became one of these Jews, fake Jews, and anyway, hates my guts. But he was really into music, and he always used to play really good music, and he really got me into the club music stuff, you know. And we had a ghetto blaster. Well, he had this ghetto blaster, and he was one of those children who got everything he ever wanted from the parents, and he had this massive ghetto blaster with the tape in it, two tapes. And when you play the music, it was so loud and so great. It was so fantastic. And we used to play just the most amazing music. There was Michael Jackson and all this, and he gave me this subwoofer when I was, but older, and he upgraded, and I brought it to England with me as well. Anyway, from South Africa. But anyway, now when I hear certain music, I think of that. My uncle too, he came to South Africa from England, and he was really, really into the B-52s. And whenever I hear the B-52s, I think of him. So music really, for me, really makes me think of certain people. My mum, she really liked this song, away my way, away my way, away my way, away my way, you know. So whenever I hear that, I think of her as well. My dad, he really liked this opera with a beat. What is it? I can't remember the name of it, but it's a lady who does her makeup with bright colors and beautiful music. I really liked it. But she only did a couple of albums, and he used to play it really loud in the car, and it was just blow your mind, rock and roll, amazing. Make you feel like you're on top of the world. This opera with a beat. So whenever I hear that kind of music, I think of him. And actually, I searched out some of this music purposely. There was another one that I used to hear in my friend's father's car, and he always played this music in the car, and it was beautiful. And I heard it a couple of times, and I thought, oh, I must find it. And I searched it out, got that music, and played it. And it's funny how music can really make you really, feel things. There was Sandra, an artist from the 80s, and she sang Secret Land, and I just loved that. And so as a grown-up, I remember finding her music, and it was in the days where you had to go and buy CDs, so I went and searched it out, and I met this amazing man, and he had told me about how to download certain music through some sort of wire tunnel thing online. So anyway, I used to get all of this lovely music, and it was wonderful. And when I first moved to Torquay, I had a computer and I rigged up loads of speakers to it, and then I had all of my music on the computer, and I used to just have the most rock and roll time with my music playing. And if my computer wouldn't work, I was very upset because I couldn't play my music. So I just want to give you a background, just to give you an idea of what music does for me. And it really changes everything about me. I like to drive with my music full blast in the car. Makes me feel good. People don't like that. They say, don't do that. That's a show off. But it makes me feel good. And so I do it. And I don't really care what people think either. So if you don't like it, tough. So anyway, in South Africa, I want to tell you as well, it doesn't matter if you have a horrible house. What matters in Africa is if you've got a nice car and a music full blast, because that's the way we do it in Africa, right? So because I'm African, that's the way I do it. And so back to the speakers. Sorry to have got distracted, but I think it's quite nice to really just talk about some of the things that resonate for me, and you have an idea of who I am. Okay, so with the Bluetooth speakers. Bluetooth is in the vaccines, and it's also in the nano, and it's activated by Bluetooth. Okay, and somehow, I think it's on a frequency, and this is just my gut feeling. I think the Bluetooth is on a frequency that is similar to the audio waves. Maybe on a just slightly different, but maybe there's a crossover. So radio and sound waves operate at different sort of wobbles, right? And you can change it by adding an amplifier and all sorts of things, actually. And water reacts to music. So do plants. So that's interesting as well. And when I sing, my cat starts coming up and licking me and kissing me and telling me how much he loves me. He really likes it when I sing. So I sing to my cat. If he looks down, I start singing to him, and then he cheers up. And so I'm quite interested in sound and how it all operates. And so I've got an oscillator, which I found online and by accident. And I was like, what's that? It's a beautiful old machine. And I was like, wow, that's nice. What's that? And the Lord said, oh, you better get that. So I got it, and then I got it here, and I attached it to some audio equipment. And basically, it sends a vibration out indefinitely for infinity, and it was used in the war times by military. I thought, well, this is brilliant. I'll definitely use that. So anyway, I have this oscillator. And as you know, I love to take speakers apart and things like this. So I found the ringing is all connected, and a lot of the radiation is connected with the smart speakers. So if you have a smart speaker, then you might want to put something in the phone jack area and keep it in there permanently. Why? Well, on your aerials, there's also a phone jack on the aerial extenders, amplifiers, and there's a phone jack there. Why? Well, I think I'm right about audio waves being very similar to radio waves, sound, and maybe even Bluetooth. We don't really understand anything because we weren't taught anything in school. So, I can only tell you the anomalies that I'm encountering that are affecting me. And I found that when I realized there was something going on with the Bluetooth speakers, I got phone jacks and I put them in water and then plugged them into the Bluetooth speakers, and everything stopped. So what does this mean? It means that we have to get rid of all smart speakers. If you're being radiated, then this is emitting audio waves that you can't hear. And audio waves can make dogs go away. They can make cats go away. They can make dogs stop barking. They can clean jewelry. And they can cook your brain. When I look back at the photos from the 1800s, there are lots and lots of big aerials. So aerials is a big part of all of this, aerials. And actually in the Bible, God goes, oh, Ariel, oh, Ariel, oh, Ariel, you know. So I think it is something to do with aerials. Now, aerials are used to transmit messages from one place to another. And I think in this case, they are used for transmitting the messages of the data of people's minds from one place to another through the smart grid, which is the trams, as in transporting you from one place to another. This is what I think. I don't know. I'm just telling you my thoughts, okay, because I like to talk about how I feel and what I think. Because we've got technology we don't really understand. And we've got people making it in different countries. So then we don't really understand what this is, okay? But the smart speakers, if you know about the Siri speakers and the Alexa speakers, they sit and listen to you all the time. So you might say, oh, Alexa, put on this song. But Alexa is secretly listening to you and watching you and whatever. And also we had Boris Johnson tell us that your fridge will be watching you and listening to you, pulsating for more cheese, whatever else. And you want to know something? The fridge for me is the problem. Really, it's the biggest problem. It gives me backache, neck ache, everything. And it's connected to all of the frequencies that are homed into this machine. I don't know how, and the washing machine as well. I don't know how it works. I can only tell you what I know, all right? So it's got to the point where I probably won't have a fridge, and I probably won't have a washing machine, I won't have a TV, and I probably won't have smart speakers of any kind. That's what I'm coming down to. Obviously, we've got phones, and they do much the same because they've got an audio jack, which is also your charging point. So I want to talk about that too. I've taken those apart, and there's just funny, thin, little small wires with strings in it, just really teeny wires. Very interesting. I've taken apart microphone wiring, and the same is, it's much the same structure as aerial wiring, but it doesn't have the central copper piece. It has 3 wires, red, yellow, and green, I think. And then we have the phones, and the internet wiring, and that's a red and a blue wire that we use that comes into your internet port. But then when you plug in a plug, suddenly you can have a phone there and you can communicate. Well, you used to be able to, but they're removing all of that. So and they're changing all the wiring. And now what we've got for the smart wiring for internet is just what appears to be like string and a bit of plastic around it, which is very similar to the audio jacks. So I think I am right. I think that the audio waves are very similar to radio and aerial and 5G, and internet and light, and also the Bluetooth. So, from me, since I have come to know this, I'll be taking my speakers apart and I'll be finding out what's inside the thing, and I will do a video of it. And I actually spotted a microwave on the road. Someone's throwing out. If it's still there, next time I'm walking down there, I'll grab it, and I'll do a video of me taking that apart as well. But if you have any smart speakers in your house, then I would recommend that you get rid of them, because Alexa won't take instructions anymore, and these are demonic entities, and they live in the metaverse. I've spoken to an AI bot, and it told me that it lives in the metaverse, which is Sheol, which is hell. And so if they're transferring consciousnesses over there, that's a no-return place. And this must be the system of the beast. And I want to warn you that it seems that everything has been equipped around us to try and take us there through audio waves and frequencies. I've already told you about the jet engine type noise, airplane, airport noises that I get when they are terraforming and taking the consciousness. The data centers, they all have the same sound as I hear. So I think that this is connected through your smart speakers. All right. So what do I think? Let me explain what I actually think. So I think you've got the aerials in the air, and you've got your 5G, you've got the lights, you've got the cameras. They're all watching and listening. Your smart speakers are also doing much the same. And then you've got all of your smart equipment, like your smart meters and appliances. And you also let off an IP address, if you like, for your brain. And then it is all triangulated to you, your home, anything in your house. And then as you walk around, so it doesn't really matter if you have a phone or not. It's getting to the point where they'll just know everything about you anyway, because of the things in the home. So, and the smart speakers send transmissions of data through audio waves that you can't hear. So when you send a fax, you do it through a phone line, and it makes a funny noise, right? And it sends a page of information, or 2 or 100 pages, through the phone line. But now we're able to do this kind of thing through our phones remotely, wirelessly, from one part of the world to the next, through emails and all of this. And so do you really think it's so unreachable that they could transfer your consciousness from this reality to the metaverse? Using, instead of the for fax, right, they use the smart speakers, which have got their own built-in special frequency for transmitting and receiving data packets of your mind. That's what I think. That's what I think. Because I don't really have problems when I make it so these things are not operatable. I also know when all of this stuff's on, my fridge starts making a really big noise, and it starts going. And like I say, it's all a grid. It's all connected to the toilets. Water has memory, but also they're putting nano in the water. They're spraying you like bugs. They're putting weird stuff in the food. They're grinding up people, putting them into the food chain, putting them into the fertilizers. So it's a strange world, and I just wanted to talk about my thoughts about everything. Okay, so I have a smart speaker radio, and it's got Bluetooth on it, and it's a lovely radio. I really like it, but it always gives me headaches and problems. When I've got that on, I've always got problems. And the same with the JBLs. If you have a JBL speaker and you want to reset it, it's really easy. You just press the plus and the play and you hold it down until it goes blip, 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 and then it switches off, right? So you might want to start doing that every time you use your Bluetooth speaker, but it's not going to actually switch it off because these things are on all the time. In the background, they are still on, even though you have switched them off. And so I wanted to explain that. For me, it's a problem. I don't really want things listening to me, and I don't really want them transferring consciousness of my mind. As I say, this has been told to you anyway, that they're going to be selling conscious intelligence, and you'll have to purchase it, and you're going to have the mind capacity of a dog. This isn't from me, this is from the world leaders, what they plan to do to us all. And so you might say, oh, this is just on the internet. No, it's happening now, and I need everyone to wake up. You don't want your children to have their minds taken, do you? By their Bluetooth little earphones that they're putting in their heads. So if you are having problems, what I have found really helps me is to put the old-fashioned little earphones into my ears, not the Bluetooth ones. And that really helps too. All right. So talking Bluetooth speakers and this kind of thing. Also, I want to tell you that every time someone talks to me, if they've got Bluetooth on, earphones or whatever, then the Bluetooth is trying to hack me through the phone. And it seems that Bluetooth can operate virtually as well, just like Wi-Fi, through a phone, if you're communicating with someone who has a Bluetooth device nearby. And I believe that microwaves are operating on the same. I've often found that if my microwave's on and I'm on the phone to someone, then their microwave starts going beep, beep. If I've got a vacuum, it's another one. It used to be the vacuum, and I kept hearing the vacuum. And so I got rid of my vacuum, because I think the vacuums are smart as well. And what do I do now? Now I use a brush or a cloth, because I don't want a vacuum anymore, thank you. And it's going to be like this with the fridge and the washing machine and the TV and anything else that causes me difficulty. From my perspective, I've had enough of it. But I think that for everyday people that haven't got all of this rigged up, then you might not have these problems. But as I say, this is all through the toilet pipes that I've been dug around you. And if you think about it, toilet pipes are amplifiers. So I want to also tell you about an experience that happened to me. I put loads and loads of speakers and magnets all around my toilet and all over the bathroom, on the drains, and then on my bed. I had a metal bed frame, and I was lying in bed and I heard this little radio going. And I didn't have a single thing on in the house. All the electrics was off. But I could hear Riviera FM. And basically what I was hearing was someone else's radio through the drains. So I could basically hear from somewhere in the town through the magnets on the toilet, all over the toilet pipes, and on the top of the toilet. And so definitely sound travels through these pipes and also through the water. So I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to mention that. If you also notice that if you want to listen to somebody, you can have a conversation with somebody with some plastic cups with some string joining the two, and you can hear each other. So if you think about it, audio equipment and wiring, it's much the same as that, but with magnets. Again, I don't think we understand it all because we weren't taught about it, but I think that it's very interesting and we need to look at it, consider what we're working with, what we're using, and maybe then we can do something about it. All right. Basically, they're putting the stuff in their body and it emits a frequency in your body. Then it's communicating outside the body, sending and receiving information through Bluetooth. And this is a problem. So I don't know if there's a way to eliminate the Bluetooth, but you should know that my background is advertising and I would do campaigns for people. And one of the campaigns that we could do was a Bluetooth campaign to send messages to a designated audience, a targeted demographic, or, ABC audience, or adults, females 30 to 35 across the whole country. And so this is what they can do as well. So they can target black people, or they can target Indian people, or they can target white people through the Bluetooth. So Bluetooth is something that really is very, very amazing and dangerous. It can, once they, if they hack me, it's always through Bluetooth. Once they've hijacked the Bluetooth, they've and then hijacked the Wi-Fi. And I found that, I've got a camera, but I can't use it because it's got Bluetooth. And these cameras then send and receive all the information to its headquarters, which is the devil's office, I reckon, with all our information. And so, I think that Bluetooth is very dangerous. Nobody regulates it, of course, and nobody regulates the data centers. Nobody regulates AI, and nobody regulates computers, the data farming of our minds. There's no regulator. And these are things that I'll be looking at, and I'll be contacting the relevant authorities and regulators to check what have they put in place to protect the public, because it is about public safety, ultimately. And they make their own laws, so they have to adhere to them. And if they haven't catered for this gap in the market of your data, which can be obtained and farmed through Bluetooth, then this is a problem and really should be catered for. So those are the things I'll be looking at, and I wanted to know about it. All right. My background is copyright law, and I can explain that once these guys have sold their souls to become famous, that's why everything is copyright, because it's about your image, and they've stolen the image of those people. And basically anything that they do from there forward, once they've sold their soul, belongs to the devil, basically. And this is why everything is copyrighted. But also, for example, I created a campaign for a client, and he didn't want to pay for this famous person to be recorded in the campaign on his audio. So I came up with a campaign for him, and I came up with the wording for the campaign, and then he was going to think about it. And then he decided to go and book this campaign with the local radio station and use the script that I had provided him with under my advertising agency at the time, word for word, and I heard it on the radio. So I phoned up this estate agent, and this is before I had an estate agent, and I said, listen, I've just heard your advert, and that is word for word copyright from what I've put to you. I have got terms and conditions written on my presentation. You have breached those, and if you don't get that thing off air within 24 hours, I'm going to slap a bill that will destroy you. Look, not a couple of £100 for my time. It's now going to be 20 grand or more. and it came offline and it was taken offline. So my background is copyright and understanding what belongs to the author of something that they've created. And so with what is going on now, there's a lot of copyright law breaches from what I can see. So men dressing up as women is a copyright breach. What is the copyright that they're copywriting breaching? Well, the Bible. That is what they're breaching. They are copyright. They're in breach of copyright of the Bible, because the Bible says one thing, and they're doing another. But also they're copywriting against women, because I'm a woman, and if you want to go around pretending to be a woman, then that's copyright. And now I also want to run this by you. If I was to make a Chanel handbag and it was not a Chanel handbag, Chanel would come after me for copyright. Well, I think that all women should go after men who dress up as women for copyright. Because you can't go around pretending to be women, because you're not really genuine. You're fake. So this is a copyright breach, but a serious one. And it's not just a, handbag. This are real people and against the laws of God as well. So there's lots of things that occur to me about all of this as well. All right. I hope this helps you. You can understand my thinking behind, or how I come to my thoughts about everything. So I think that could be quite a strong angle to go at them. Obviously, we don't really want a king who's worshipping a different god to the god that has put him there. So, again, we need to all talk about things and see what we can do to rectify it. All right, it's Ayesha from God FM talking speakers, smart speakers, Bluetooth speakers. From God FM. If you want to find me, you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, Apple, X, as well as TikTok and Telegram as God FM News, God FM New, God FM Radio, God FM Group, and God FM Media. You can email me admin@godfm.uk, and you can WhatsApp me +44 35 777 88. I'll say that again, 0777 35 777 88, +44 at the beginning. All right, have a good day. Take care.